All right. Okay, Mr. York.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to finish up our interview by asking you some questions. We left
Okay.
off talking about the land and ownership and dealing with the case. And
Started blocking everything. People started coming down, selling all that stuff, transporting. We had deals made, but they wanted me to do it through Horton Home in Putnam County, and we didn't want it because their houses are poorly made because we had people working there. So we started getting our houses from Milledgeville, right? And they got mad at us, so they stopped us from putting our houses on the land, and that made people who had already come there to double up and triple up on top of each other. And then they thought, so we said the best thing to do to make it safe for everybody is move the kids into brackets of ages until we can get past these zoning laws and get our house and all the families can move back with their families, right? And that's why in their testimony you find sometimes they say, well, I'm living with my mother. Other ones say, well, I didn't live with my mother. We lived, my mother, father was all lived together. Because there was a period of time when we all was living together. Everybody's houses was down there and the families were living in their houses. There was a house set up even for my mother when my mother retired down here with me. You know what I'm saying? But then when they found out how we got permission to put up 19 houses, we got the lot squared off, and we got the pipeline, the sewage put in, that's when salesmen came in and started blocking everything, so we were stuck, and all the growth of more property stopped, and nobody else could get any more houses. They blocked everything. So people who were already there, who had already sold everything, who came from the north, who came from Florida, who came from Alabama, who came from Mississippi, came from different places. They don't come from the north. They came from different places. They were stuck. So everybody had to double up and triple up just to survive. That's why they keep saying I moved into a trailer. He lived in a trailer and he had a house. I moved into a trailer. I had a little teeny small trailer. So the house that I originally had owned, more people and their families can take over those. And that's why they said there was families in there, not just his family, but different people and different people. And then when the little kids were born, little ones, we made sure we had a nursery set up. But by the way, they threw tear gas in that nursery on May 8th without a second thought. But we had nursery set up so the kids could be separated because the adults get the colds and the cough, and we don't want it to affect the kids. You follow?
Right. Okay, so so basically it's true that the zoning violations hindered the growth on the land.
Exactly, and it made the conditions, but made it look like it was unlivable at times. And some of the buildings, the floors were raggedy, and we couldn't get them fixed because you got to get a permit to upgrade, you get a permit to repair, you got to get a permit to do this. They even told us to stop painting, and sometimes you paint because you can put on a latex paint that protects the wood or protects the vinyl or whatever. And they just told us to stop everything. We put a stop order on everything. They just wanted to degrade to the point where they can come and say, look how they're living. You follow?
Right.
They did all that purposely. Then they tried to hinder all of our businesses, close down all our businesses, so we wouldn't have the food we needed to support, to be able to feed ourselves.
Right.
So they was doing all that was all well thought out. They did it first and then turned around, and what they caused, they turned around and said they used against us.
Right.
You know, we were trying to stay together, hold together in love. You know, the family prays together, stays together. In due time, we'll overcome this devil and all this wickedness, and we'll be back on our feet and get everything growing again. That was our plan. And so people were willing to make that sacrifice. They turned that sacrifice, into something bad. And then the kids who didn't understand, they took it the other way. And then the parents would explain to them, because the parents sometimes think, I ain't got to explain until you're a kid. And I'll be like, everybody needs to know what's going on around here. Because we have various leaders, people in charge. Women was in charge of the food. Another woman was in charge of the people who move on the land, another one. Another brother was in charge of the construction and repairs. There was a whole bunch of different people in charge. They had their own control, and I was not controlling them. The only thing I was involved in was the religious teachings, the writing of the books. That's what I was in. I wasn't involved with the business office, and they admitted to understand that women ran the offices. They did all the money, all the banking, all that. I had nothing to do. They would drive me to the bank for me to sign because the charter was in my name, and then I would sign, and that was in the bank. If the bank was going to tell the truth, they would say, yeah, we've seen him coming in several times. Every time we ever see him here, he'd come in with a group of them. They would have all this paperwork. He wouldn't understand the paperwork. They would talk to them, what kind of accounts. I would sign my signature or post office box. I signed my signature, and I would leave. And then from then on, they would be doing all the transactions, everything. I had nothing to do with money. I would tell people I don't want nothing to do with y'all's money. All I'm here to do is teach the truth.
Right.
I write books, and that's all I do.
Right.
That was my part. And everybody else had their own part. Some brothers security, some brothers repairs, some brothers went out to work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some sisters sold, some sisters worked in the office on books, some sisters cooked, some people took care of the kids, some people taught class, whatever it was. So, and the kids had a very good education.
Right. So basically, the townspeople and those that did the zonings by, permits and things of that nature.
Jerome Dean Adams and people like that.
Right. They just feared the growth and what the organization or the tribe was going to do with the land.
They was intimidated. They kept on trying to tell us, what exactly are you going to do? We want your full plans because you can't put a water park out. You can't do this. And we want to make a public access. We want to have access. We said, we're not making it public because it's private. We don't want everybody here. So they was concerned because they started seeing 30,000 people show up in carnival type of activity out there. This bothered them, because they couldn't profit off it. And they knew that people were coming, and that was growing, and we was going to expand and expand. The Egyptian thing was starting to get public attention, the media's attention, and it was taking attention off they got their little town with Brother Rabbit. They used to have a Sambo parade there, a Compton from that town. They hated the fact that the color purple was done in there because it revealed the racism. That town there was the color purple. There's a book out by a guy called David Mullen called The Chicken Come Home to Roost. Read about that book. It's a little small book, and you can get it from Barnes and Nobles, or you can call our people, and they'll give you access to it. It tells you all about that town, and tells you all the people in the town, and what the stuff they used to do, the racism and the lynching and all the different things. Putnam County have more lynchings than most parts of Georgia.
Right.
We got the records, and we did the demographics on it.
Now, I mean, I know this. Well, the whole thing of it is just trying to focus on the land and I guess the information of the organization things, and just trying to halt that altogether. But is it true that when the point of moving to Georgia was, of course, to be closer to the Native American landmarks, our tribal roots, and that was the main issue?
That was the main purpose, yeah.
Okay.
We could have went to Florida, but that's Seminole. We could have went to North Carolina, but that's Cherokee. You follow?
Yeah.
We chose to be in Georgia because that is Yamasee.
Right. So basically, I just wanted you to explain the different elements of the organization and things, or the tribe, because it seems like that's the type of confusion that they try to keep in the minds of people.
Tribe is our national. That's what we are. That's our culture. We're Native Americans. That's where we are born. Some people have come into the tribe. They would call honorary members. Others of us have been Native Americans our whole lives. Right? Now, within inside that, that's just what we are. We have the Masonic Lodge, Nuwabian Grand Lodge, right? We have the Shriners, El Mahdi Shrine. We have the AEO was an Egyptian order, and we had Holy Tabernacle Ministries. We had the Egyptian Church of Christ. Those are two different churches, and the Holy Seed Baptist Synagogue. Those are three different churches that socialize with us. Not to mention we have people from the Ebenezer Baptist Church and Ethiopian Church. You follow? So we have different groups of people that make up this organization called Nuwabians. You follow? And they have their own leaders, their own teachers, their own dialogue, their own beliefs, their own commitment, their own dress codes. Right? And that has nothing to do with us being Native American. Native American is what we are by nature, indigenous people. Regardless of what we accept as a religious belief, we have our own culture. You follow what I'm saying? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And they're trying to combine the two and make it look like it's, Native American is some type of organization. Native American is not an organization. It's what we are.
Right.
We have always been. We was here before they got here. They came over to our land with this mess and their drugs and their pornography and all they brought there. There's no such thing as native molestation and stuff, all that stuff, drug use and divorces and rapes. We don't have that in Native American culture. That is their culture. They brought that from Europe with them and spread it. Everywhere they go, they spread it. And then they try to tag it onto other people so it look like it applies to other people's culture.
Right.
And it doesn't.
I hear you. And I guess that's the misconception that's been brought out. It's because they always want to say, well, they're wearing this now, or they're wearing that now,
right.
Or they're Egyptians
Let me
now.
add to that, too. They keep us, because Seal said they wore cowboy clothes. Native Americans wear cowboy clothes. Cowboy clothes came from Native American. The cowboy hat that you see comes from an Indian Joe hat before they blocked it. The cowboy boots and stuff are boots that are worn by Native Americans. That's why we have fringes. You see cowboys in chaps and they have fringes and stuff and everything. Those Europeans who came here, they picked up on the dress code that the Indians were wearing. We don't wear feathers all the time and walk around in moccasins all the time. I mean, only ones that live in certain environments, certain climates. When the winter came, they changed clothes. When we rode cattle across the country, what we call bison, we wore different. So cowboy clothes, cowboy boots, and fringes, if you look at any of the pictures of us, are Native American clothes. If you check any Native American tribes across this doggone country, you're going to see they have on cowboy clothes. Nobody's wearing feathers no more. It's not the 17th century. You follow?
Yeah.
And the Egyptian clothes they just put on it, that is a part of a ritual, a religious ritual for a group of people who call themselves the ancient Egyptian order.
Right.
Other than that, there's no other clothes other than regular clothes. They just, and he said they changed clothes. What clothes? He just used the same thing over again. He went from Indian, Indian cowboy. Cowboy and Indian the same doggone thing. That's the end of that there. American clothes anybody can wear, and the Egyptian clothes they see people wearing. They only see them on the land doing that while they're doing certain rituals. Certain things that pertain to their religious beliefs, and that's their prerogative. This is America. You're entitled to your own religious beliefs. You follow?
Yes, I do. Well, that completes the questions that I have for you today.
I'd like to establish one thing, too. I'm totally innocent of all this stuff that they're doing. It's all big plot. I didn't sexually molest anybody. I wasn't manipulating any money, any RICO. All this is a big plot, and the truth will set you free. It's going to come out, and that's why they're panicking now with it.
2004. This is yet another interview with Maku Chief Black Thunderbird Eagle. How are you doing this evening?
Well, how about how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. I'm still in the belly of the beast.
Yes, it's soon to be free.
I hear.
I want to talk with you about the evidence the prosecution said they had against you in the case. A lot was put out in the media with different items that they had, and I just want to cover them one by one if that's okay. First of all, I want to discuss with you this Pink Panther doll they said they found. What is the significance of that?
First of all, let's establish something, right? Let's establish something about this Pink Panther doll. Pink Panther doll in the head in court, right? Some people got pictures of women on their house, on their walls. They got pictures, you know what I mean? They have statues that you can buy from various stores, and people are nude. You know what I'm saying? They got all kind of stuff that's considered art, just to make the point. Not that it is, just to make the point. You understand? That it was the evidence was so frail that they had to keep picking up a little pink doll and saying, and he had this, and he had this. Never tied it to me. No evidence that it was mine. No DNA that it was mine. Never even turned around and asked me, is this yours? You know what I'm saying? He just assumed it.
Right.
He said he found it in a place, but he said he found it in a bedroom, and then the picture they put up on the screen is not a bedroom. It's a sauna room. And nobody lives in the room. The last people who was living there were people who was living after I had already left.
Right.
But they put it up there, and in the minutes you're going to hear him refer to that Pink Panther as being found in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then people are looking at that, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all this blue. That's the color that sauna is. Blue rug and everything in there. Versus a bedroom, which they say was once black when I had it, but when I left there and someone took over there, we changed it. You see that everything is beige and gold, and I've changed it. I had a black rug. They changed. They put a leopard skin rug down there. You follow? But that's definitely not the bedroom. But but the prosecution is calling saying we found the Pink Panther in the bedroom.
Okay.
You follow? Go ahead.
Okay, and another issue was the pillows they said that were in
That was funny.
Georgia.
You know what's so funny about the pillars? What's funny about those pillars is they kept pointing at two big pillars that was covered in leopard skin to match the rug that was put down by someone else, by the way. But when they made reference to the pillars and put a screen picture up again, and they was making reference to two pillars that was in my house when I lived upstate, they weren't even leopard skin, they were zebra. People were coming on this so-called witches were saying, yeah, that's the pillars I remember. And then they would pick and say, is that them over there? And they'd go, yes. So they would point up to a big picture on the screen with the jury sitting right there looking at it. This zebra, only like one fraction of the corner of it is in the picture. It's not even a full picture. Like, just a small phrase of the picture in a corner, right?
Right.
And it's obviously zebra print. There's a big difference between a zebra and a leopard.
Right.
Right? And then they would show two big pillars on the floor that was leopard, and the people understand would say, yes, that's the pillars I remember upstate. And right in front of everybody, it's plain as day, it's in the minutes, right? Then, when one of the main so-called victims got up there, one of their key witnesses, they got up there and faintly said, well, one of the pillars were thrown away. She referred to them as the F pillars, and I won't use the word. But she says, one of the pillars was thrown away. Literally, and this is the person who was in charge of the house, who ran the house, and said, one of the pillars was thrown away. Then, you look right there and you see two pillars there, right? And then they bring this girl in, and she says, yes, I covered the pillars. Right. And they brought her in after the prosecution had rested. They saw they had really lost the case, so they had to try something else. So they brought her in, and she said, yes, I covered those pillars. You follow? So now we're talking about the person who was in charge of everything down there was saying that I threw one of the pillars out, meaning not I, but themselves. They threw one of the pillars out. The person who's covered the pillars saying, yes, I covered both those pillars. So there was two pillars there. A new pillar was added, right?
Right.
And that's why they say they can't find no DNA, because they're looking at it. They don't have no pillars. And the pillars that used to be in my house were zebra. And the pillars are there, but they have me next to no pillars. Other people laying on leopard skin pillars. Laying on, all together, taking pictures on the pillars. Me, nowhere on any of those pillars.
Right.
Is there, in fact, me on none of the pictures anywhere. Go ahead.
Right. So basically, and another thing they didn't, what I wanted to address is any physical evidence, things of that nature. Did they find any physical evidence, like you mentioned DNA, anywhere?
They found no DNA, and that's why they didn't enter it at all. They found no DNA on nothing. They took the beds out of my house, they took the sheets out of my house, they took the blankets out of my house, they took the pillars out of my house, they took everything, and they found no DNA. And they found absolutely no DNA. If someone was having sex on that pillar, like they said that I was having sex up into the night before I got arrested on that pillar or on that bed, there would have definitely been DNA of mine there. Everyone knows that. Every forensics, and you don't have to be a forensic expert to know that.
Right. So basically, they didn't have anything to corroborate the allegations.
None. They had nothing to corroborate the album but hearsay. They had no evidence to tie any of the stuff they were saying to me whatsoever. And they knew it. That's why they closed the court down.
We were talking talking about the lack of evidence that
Yes.
the
They had
prosecution
no evidence that tied me to any of the allegations they had. None. No physical evidence, no medical evidence. The kids, so-called, there were no kids actually there, but they call them the kids. Their actual statements didn't collaborate. Didn't match up what was being said. Didn't match up with me. They couldn't even place me in the right place. They couldn't even place me. They had the buildings wrong. Some of them were saying in his house upstairs in the bathroom. There was no bathroom upstairs in my house when I lived there. And then they said I was in the so-and-so. They named places that didn't even exist. And if you visited that place where I used to live, you see this was impossible.
Right.
They mentioned a big office upstairs. There was no office upstairs. The whole area is no bigger than from 12 by 12 circular.
Right.
And there's 2 floors, one above the next. They were making reference to it as if it's a house. You follow?
Yes, I
It wasn't. Go ahead.
Another issue that they they did bring up in court was the videos, the XX-rated DVDs and videos found at 404 Shadydale Road.
Right. Here's the funny part about that. They said videos throughout the case.
Right.
And they presented a DVD. See, the reason why they had a problem with the DVD is because during the time that they was making these allegations, you couldn't duplicate DVDs then.
Right.
So I couldn't have possibly had a replica of myself on a DVD doing anything, because during that period of time from 1988, you wasn't able. You just started being able to duplicate DVDs in 2003. So how could I have made DVDs? So they presented to the jury a suitcase with DVDs in it. Most of them was regular movies, but it wasn't mine anyway. But most of them was regular movies, and a few of them were adult porno, which was still not mine. Okay? And a person who wanted to come on and tell them that's mine, and had petitioned the government through letters and went down to Macon and said, those are mine, those are not his, I live in that house. They totally would not let that person get on the stand. They ignored that person. They could not tie me in. Then the person who was going to say, some of those films, they know where they came from because they were there when the person bought the films, and it doesn't mean it wasn't me. They were, they was a party to purchasing them, as well as order them through the mail. And the mail, it came in the mail to a specific person's name, because they had ordered these books. And we put the books up on the screen. They could see the post office box, whose name is on the post office box, because they put their name on with mine and several other people, because we was all receiving mail at one point in time. But this person's name is receiving all this pornography advertisements, and that person eventually admitted, those are mine. They made like that didn't happen.
Right.
There was no pornography found in my house in Athens. Then there was no videotapes found in my house in Athens that were X-rated.
Right.
But they was lying to the right, clear right there in front of the audience. That's why I knew that jury was already picked and preset, because they were saying videotape, right? But they showed nothing but a DVD. They walked around saying, we got a couple little videotapes or something they had, some little clips they had from something that they couldn't tie to me. I wasn't on them. I wasn't videoing them. They didn't hear my voice in the background saying anything about it. I probably wasn't even, I don't even know what the environments of them was, but they wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? And they probably wasn't in my house. No video tapes of anybody doing anything in my house. If I were, or me on anything, or any pictures at all of me.
Right.
So you had no DNA, right? To corroborate the story, you had no videotape. They find no X-rated video tapes. You understand what I mean by video versus DVD?
Yes, I do.
Or any other. He's walking around a little 8mm for the jury that he didn't found and put together himself probably from his own collection. If I, when I'm not on it, they can't say I taped it. My fingerprint ain't on it or nothing.
Right.
And they just come up and say those belong to you. They can do that to anybody. They can walk in a court and just bring stuff out and go buy it or bring it from their home and say this belongs to him. And if you can't tie it to, that's that new RICO law. That's why it's so shallow. Something must be done about it. Because it gives them the power to just lie and bring in evidence that don't apply. They could not tie anything to me.
Right.
Whatsoever. And when Maxwell Wood and Harold Richard Seals was on television, Channel 13, and they were asked by someone who called a call-in, they evaded the answer. I don't know what court you was in because I saw evidence.
Right.
Of course they don't know what court he was in. Mr. Maxwell Wood and Seals and the judge made sure nobody was in the court, so he wouldn't see that.
Right.
He's going to get on television and say, I don't know what court you was in. The court at the trial I was in, I saw evidence. Yeah, well, y'all made sure nobody was in the trial but y'all. So people on the outside would be able to see that there was no evidence.
Right.
That's why y'all closed the court.
Right.
Go ahead.
And you had brought up a point dealing with the pictures, and one of the pieces of evidence they put in was one of the alleged victims inside a bathroom.
Right.
Trying to say that it was your bathroom.
Yes. They kept putting that up. They kept showing the same picture of this girl sitting in the corner in this bathroom. Now I'm looking at the picture and I'm knowing right there that's not my bedroom, but I'm waiting for the punchline.
Right.
Right? Now what they did then is they put another witness up on the stand, and when they asked this witness right out of the clear blue sky, you see that person in that bathroom? And the person said, yeah. And they said, where's that person at? And that person said, oh, she's in one of the trailers. She's Malachi, bathroom? She said, no. All the trailers had them kind of tubs. They come, when you buy those trailers, double wides, you can get what they call the master bathroom with the big round plastic tub. And the person is actually sitting in one of the trailers on the land, not in Athens, in my house. And it was real clear. And so they hit that real quick when they realized that, and they got that person off the stand real quick.
Right.
So they didn't get a chance to prep people properly. Go ahead.
And these were all, I mean, what I just asked you was basically the key points of evidence they were trying to produce into the court. So what is the evidence that the jury had to deliberate on if all this was...
They had nothing but stuff that they were tagging and just saying. Nothing. They had nothing tangible. Right? And the funny part about it, when they were deliberating, when they came to hung jury, the jury didn't ask for any evidence. They asked for the holy tablets of scripture that had nothing to do with the case and wasn't even entered into evidence by the prosecution or the defense.
Right.
They had nothing. Plus, you had a RICO that the government made so complicated that no way in the world you're going to tell me those 12 people can straighten that out in a couple of minutes because we came back with a hung jury, and that was supposed to be the case. And the judge panicked, took a break, went to the back, talked to the jury, brainwashed them, threatened them, then came back and read a small portion of the court order on what a jury should deliberate to. Just the part saying you better come back with a decision. Told the one person that was saying, no, I disagree, which made the hung jury, if you don't agree with us, we're going to pull you off because I already made arrangements because the judge said ahead of time, we have this on record, that I'll even settle for 11 jury, 11-man jury. So he said that before the trial started, and if one person pops up and says no, there has to be a one black person there who says no, you understand?
Right.
Then he said he would have been able to throw her off anyway and put another white person there or someone who's already also been pre-picked. The whole thing was all set up.
Right. So, I mean, in listening to what you're saying, you feel that you feel you had a fair trial?
Of course not. There was no such thing. I didn't get a fair trial from day one, but let it on down in Brunswick, no fair trial. Court was closed. Military, flamethrowers, scaring people away, threatening people, passing out seals, and his people are passing out bogus subpoenas to try to scare all the witnesses because they couldn't rally them. The government was afraid to call most of the so-called victims because the victims, we had to call them because had they called them, they would have got on the stand like they did because we called them one by one, and they were saying nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened. The jury is sitting right there listening to this here. More people stand up and say nothing happened than a handful of people who said something did happen, which was only 4 people, and each one of them were caught in a lie. But none of the people we put up there, we had parents of the people up there, the mothers, the fathers of the people involved saying, I know better. You know what I'm saying? I know they told me, I know so-and-so. Friends of the best friends, and say they would tell me everything. Relatives, a brother to one of the people saying, they confide in me all the time. I know better. I know my sister. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know I didn't get a fair trial. I said that to the judge when I was down there. That's why I don't want to be a part of play this game with y'all, because y'all don't play fair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He had no intention. He was selected and picked with an agenda. And that was to rush this case through because it's going on too long. Find that man, Malachi, or whatever he's called, find him guilty, put him away, and then go after those people and get them Nuwabians out of Georgia. You understand? That's what the racist agenda was in this case. There was no fair trial. Nothing about this case was fair. From the time they started picking the jury, the judge picked the jury himself. He handpicked them. We had no choice. And when we pick somebody, you just go no. Then the people who came in, the funniest thing, they came from a room of over 100 and some odd people, and then they came into the little room where we called, and everybody heard about the case, read about the case, or discussed the case, and were discussing it outside in the courtroom at the exact same time while he was trying to select the jury. The jury members were all outside discussing the case already, and how I was already guilty before they came in. They said, yeah, we were all discussing, he was already guilty, and he still put those people on the board, on the jury. There was no fair trial at all. Nowhere near. Plus they clearly said that Brunswick had been spoiled by seals in them, and he said all of Georgia had been spoiled years before this trial started. But then he moved it down to his own town because he said he figured out after years of saying that place, how did he know that place was not spoiled? He had to go down and ask people, right? So if you go down and ask people, have you heard of Malachi? They're going to say no. He said, well, nobody heard of Malachi. Because then you did that before the trial. So if you went down to try to find out if the place was spoiled by asking people if they heard of Nuwabian, if they heard of Malachi, if they, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then by that time, those people did hear about it.
Right.
And then when they come to trial, they would have already heard. So there's no such thing as I went down there and checked to find out if the people knew. How can you find out if a person knows without asking them? And once I ask you about the person, then you know.
Right.
So, it was a big hoax. This was a big charade. Right?
Now, with all that you've been through, with the violent arrest, with the torture for 2 years.
Torture ain't the word for it. I've been treated like an animal.
I mean, the unjust judicial system, the betrayal by family and friends. How have you been able to remain so strong in this fight?
I have a purpose. My purpose, I'm here to teach right now. I'm here to correct the lies. I'm a reformer. That's my purpose. I'm a teacher, a master teacher. That's what I do. I have to keep that in the forefront of my mind at all times, that whatever's happened to me, that's what the ancient ones want to happen to me. That's what the Most High wants to happen to me. Now, the devil can mess with you the way he messed with Job in the Christian Bible. You follow?
Yes.
But that's all part of it. Now, I have as many people on the outside more that do love me. I have more. I got one family member acting fool or two, but I have a whole bunch of others that are with me. I don't have 100 kids. I don't have 70-something wives, and they didn't produce any DNA, or they didn't do any DNA. They said we came across a magazine, or they came across a book with a bunch of pictures, and it says family. So he said that's every woman in there, and every child in his mind. Outright another lie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Another one that lies to try to dirty me up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm strengthened by those that do love me. I got people behind me. I got people that I don't even know write me from all over the world. I get letters from everywhere in some languages I can't even read. I'm supported. It's in the United Nations. It's in Hague. It's in Brussels. It's in the Congo. It's in Liberia. It's in Ghana. It's in London. It's in Holland. It's in Trinidad. It's in Jamaica. It's in Barbados. It's spreading all across the world. They think this little small town that played this game don't realize this is becoming a world event.
Right.
And our jurisdiction is at the peak of all of it. The tip of the pyramid is our jurisdiction, and we have all the documents and all the laws and all the evidence to confirm that we are Yamasee Native American Moors of the Creek Nation, and I am the chief of that tribe, and we are what they would call Indians.
Right.
You follow?
Yes.
And they have no authority over me. They have no authority over anybody in the case. All the people in the part of the case, according to them, were tribal members. And according to our documents, they prove they're tribal members. So we have our own court system, we have our own constitution, we have our own laws, and we were here first, long before them. We had a war back in the 15th century. They didn't get here until 1776 to start setting this stuff up.
Right.
We was already living here when they came in and started stealing our land and making treaties, knowing that the Native Americans couldn't speak English and was putting X's down, and found out later legally X is not recognized. So that's another law we're getting ready to present to them. So even the people who Yazoo or whatever made a so-called treaty or deal with Yamasees from Savannah and down even in Brunswick, the documents are not legal.
Right.
And we got legal documents to confirm it. That's what they're afraid of, and that's why they're trying to speed this case up, hurry them, get me to a PSI, hurry them, get me to a trial, hurry them, get me sentenced, close the case down, shut up, blast them all over television, get a bunch of idiots out there yelling and screaming who would be doing that anyway, regardless of what, regardless of who it is. Yeah, people doing that for every fight against them. There's always an idiot running around saying, I knew it, that's their job.
Right.
They were born to do that. But the truth is what's holding me up. The fact that I know that it's fun to watch them play this game and know that they know, dang, this is the truth.
Right.
We've been lying on this man,
right.
lying on this organization, and persecuting these people, and torturing this man, strapping him down and putting him in cold places and starving him, and not giving him medication so he'll have seizures and fall out, trying to physically kill me, put me in an environment with dangerous people, and then put statements on television and put it on a channel where everybody in television is watching, because they make sure the news comes on when everybody's in the day room eating, so they time it. They time your food schedule to be with the news, so you'll have to watch what they say. So everybody's standing there eating, looking up, and then you're over there and they're saying you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, and it's all one-sided. It's a very dangerous environment. They put me in a hostile environment with the hopes to kill me. And then broke out slanderous statements on television, and it still didn't work because people knew me as a master teacher.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that's all I have to say for now.
Okay. Well, appreciate you taking some more time out.
All right. We'll make another tape if it's necessary, but we will get the truth out.
All right.
Okay. What do?
Okay. What do?